Okay, let's unpack something truly wild because you are absolutely not going to believe this one. Imagine just skipping the whole saving for years, the mortgage nightmare, all of it,
Wow.
and just buying your dream house outright with cash. Cash you got from dating,
Uh-huh.
33 dates to be exact. I know. It sounds like a movie script, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a comedy where you'd be laughing so hard you'd cry, except,
Yeah.
well, this apparently happened.
It really does sound stranger than fiction. Honestly, when I first saw the headline, something like "Girl dates 33 guys to buy a house," I think that's roughly the translation. My first thought was, okay, hold on, there has to be more to it.
Right.
And well, there is lots more. We're diving into the story behind this woman. Let's call her Maya. She's what, 28, living in a big city, normal job.
Seemingly normal, yeah?
Seemingly normal, exactly. But with this huge, maybe audacious goal, owning her own home completely free and clear.
Audacious is definitely a word for it. Because, yeah, on the surface, Maya seemed like, just another young professional trying to make it work. Life, love, the usual. But underneath, wow, she was apparently putting together this plan. It's either totally brilliant or just completely jaw-dropping, maybe both.
It's something.
Yeah. So our sources, these excerpts detailing her story, they paint this picture of someone who saw romantic connections as, well, let's just say a very unique kind of funding stream.
A funding stream, yeah.
So our mission today in this deep dive is to figure out, okay, how? How did she actually do this? The sheer nerve involved, and maybe, yeah, chuckle a little bit because it's so unbelievable. It's almost funny, but also think about what it tells us about, dating today.
Okay, so let's get into how it all started. The story suggests this wasn't just like a sudden idea. It seems to have begun more gradually with one guy, a connection she made on Bumble. We'll call him Daniel.
Daniel, right, the first one.
And what's really interesting is how Maya interacted with him. Reports say she was super attentive, remembered little things he said, laughed at his jokes, Basically, she made him feel really seen, really appreciated.
Okay, standard good dating practice so far.
Kind of. But then she apparently brings up this big life goal, buying a house. And she frames it cleverly, not just for her, but for like a future, maybe kids down the line.
Ah, the future faking angle. Tapping into that shared dream idea.
Exactly. Building something together. That's a powerful motivator in relationships.
It really is. And this is where the story takes that first, completely wild turn. It's almost impressive in a really dark, twisted way. So after about 4 months, Daniel's clearly into her. He's probably picturing that future you mentioned.
Invested.
Totally invested. And that's when she drops it. Casually mentioned she saved 95% of the down payment.
Yeah.
Just needs that last little bit, that final 5%.
Just 5% sounds so achievable, right?
Right. So Daniel, wanting to be the hero, wanting to show he's serious, steps up. He offers the money, $9,000.
$9,000. Wow, to, seal the deal on their future together. Or so he thought.
Exactly. It sounds almost like a grand romantic gesture in some bizarre parallel universe.
It really does.
Yeah.
But here's the first major twist, the real kicker. That $9,000,
Yeah.
it didn't actually go towards a down payment, not a real one, anyway.
What? Then where?
Maya apparently used it to create a fake bank statement.
No, get out. Seriously.
Seriously, think about that move. It wasn't about the house, not yet. It was about building the proof, crafting this image of someone who was financially stable, almost there, for the next guy.
That's next level planning. It's like a weird romantic Ponzi scheme.
It kind of has that vibe, doesn't it? And incredibly, this wasn't just a one-off with Daniel.
Oh, no.
The pattern apparently repeated. There was a Tom, and then, get this, 31 other men after him.
31 more. So 33 in total.
33 different guys, each one thinking they were contributing to a shared dream, but really they were just funding Maya's solo house project.
That is absolutely nuts. And the amounts, did they all give the same?
No, it varied. Quite a bit, actually. Some gave maybe a couple $1,000s, others apparently up to $12,000.
12,000, wow.
Yeah. And the relationships themselves varied, too. Some were, longer-term things. Others were more like situationships, fleeting connections.
And I read one guy even co-signed a utility bill.
Co-signed a utility bill, presumably thinking, great, we're setting up our future home together. The sheer scale of it, the audacity, you almost have to laugh. It's so outrageous.
It really is. So what was the secret sauce? How did she keep this illusion going with so many different people?
Well, the sources point to a few consistent tactics. First, she always claimed she'd saved most of the money herself, like 95%. making their contribution feel like just that last little push.
Makes it seem less like asking for money and more like accepting help to cross the finish line.
Exactly. Then there were the props, fake financial documents, maybe even like staged emails or texts with real estate agents to make it all seem legit.
Wow. The props department was working overtime.
Seriously. But maybe the most powerful tool was the emotional manipulation, the commitment to the bit. She reportedly went on open house tours with some of them, talked about curtains, paint colors, even where the kids' rooms might go.
Oh, man. Painting that detailed picture of a future life together,
Yeah.
that's deep.
It's incredibly persuasive, right? Tapping into those shared hopes and dreams, making them feel like partners in this big life goal.
It's quite the performance. 2 years, 33 men. And how much did she end up raising in total?
Over $310,000.
300. Wow. Just,
Oh, yeah.
wow.
All caps.
And the result, she actually did it.
She did. Bought her dream house. Outright. No mortgage, no co-owner on the deed. Just her name.
The audacity is almost, I mean, you kind of have to admire the nerve in a really messed up way.
That's definitely something.
So the massive question, the one that just makes your head spin, is how? How did she possibly get away with this for so long? Didn't anyone get suspicious?
Well, the explanation the source offers is unsettling, but it kind of makes sense from a legal standpoint. She seems to have operated very carefully in a sort of gray area.
Oh.
Apparently, she never made explicit, legally binding promises. No, I promise to marry you. No, we will definitely move in together by X date. And crucially, no signed contracts related to the money or the house.
So it was all suggestion, hopes and dreams.
Pretty much. Lots of talk about hopes for the future, dreams of building a life together, very emotive language, but nothing concrete you could take to a lawyer.
That's clever and devious.
And by making each guy feel like he was the special one, the one she was really building this future with, she kind of deflected suspicion. They were so caught up in the romance, the story she was weaving.
That they didn't look too closely at the details. Or maybe didn't want to.
Perhaps. They were invested emotionally and financially in her dream, which she made feel like their dream.
But okay, schemes like this, they usually fall apart eventually,
Yeah.
right? What happened? How did it unravel?
Yeah.
Because it had to unravel.
Oh, it did. And in a way that's almost perfectly fitting for how bizarre this whole story is. It apparently started with Facebook.
Of course it did. Facebook. The downfall of many.
Right. One of the men, let's call him boyfriend #17 or something, innocently posts a birthday picture. Happy birthday to my amazing girlfriend, Maya. That kind of thing.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, it was right. Because boyfriend #5 sees it, and boyfriend #28 sees it, and suddenly they're thinking, wait a minute, that's my girlfriend.
Oh my God. The dawning horror. I can picture the DMs flying.
Exactly. They start comparing notes, and inevitably, someone creates the Facebook group, Maya's Men.
Maya's man. You couldn't make this up.
You really couldn't. And imagine the vibe in that group, just this explosion of heartbreak, anger, confusion, and probably a fair bit of embarrassment, too.
Oh, absolutely. The collective, wait, she told me that too. Moment. Brutal.
Brutal is right. The source says at least one of them tried to take legal action. Which you can understand, right? Feeling totally deceived.
Yeah, you'd want some kind of justice. Or at least your money back.
But remember that legal gray area. It seems that's where the case hit a wall. No signed agreements, no explicit written promises that she broke. Just feelings and assumptions.
So not enough concrete evidence of actual fraud in the eyes of the law.
Apparently not. Which really just highlights how messy things get when emotions and money mix, especially if things aren't spelled out clearly.
So where does that leave Maya now? What's she doing?
Well, according to the source, she's in the house, living the dreams she funded unconventionally.
Yep. With a dog, apparently. The golden retriever. And a security camera system. For peace of mind, perhaps?
I guess she might need it. Is she still dating?
Reportedly, no. Not actively dating anymore.
Yeah.
Opinions differ on what she's actually doing.
Yeah.
Is she hiding out, laying low until it all blows over? Or is she just retired,
Yeah.
living off the proceeds?
Early retirement funded by 33 broken hearts. The irony is just, wow.
And here's maybe the final absolutely baffling detail.
Oh, there's more.
According to the source, she never apologized, never said sorry to any of them. No apology.
Seriously. Not only that, but she apparently told the last guy she dated something along the lines of, she genuinely loved each and every one of them.
She loved them all.
Just not enough to, actually stay with any of them.
Okay, that takes some nerve to say after all that. I don't even know whether to laugh or just shake my head.
Right. It leaves you with such conflicting feelings. outrage, maybe? Bewilderment? Maybe even that dark humor creeps back in at the sheer audacity of it all?
Definitely audacity. So we're left looking at this story, this incredible, almost unbelievable saga. Was she a master manipulator, a cold, calculating scammer who preyed on emotions?
Uh,
Or was she, in some really twisted way, just someone who figured out an extreme loophole in the dating game? And the prize wasn't love, it was a paid-off house.
It definitely forces you to ask some uncomfortable questions, doesn't it? About money, expectations in relationships, what people are willing to do for their goals.
The whole thing is so outlandish, it's hard not to see the darkly funny side, even while you're thinking about the guys involved.
Absolutely. It was an incredibly bold plan. She clearly understood emotional leverage, and she used it to achieve something. Well, something genuinely astonishing, financially speaking. But that central question just hangs there. Is this ingenuity gone wrong? Resourcefulness taken to an unethical extreme? Or is it purely a cautionary tale about manipulation?
It really does stick with you. It makes you think, what does this story reflect about, modern dating? Financial
Yeah.
pressures, especially things like home ownership, which feels so out of reach for so many.
Is it some kind of bizarre commentary on needing a partner to achieve those big financial goals? Or maybe just a stark reminder of the risks when you mix strong emotions and big financial decisions without uh, clear communication?
Definitely food for thought.
Okay.
It's one of those stories that sounds completely made up, but the fact that it's real just makes it even more, well, unbelievable. Leaves you wondering about the lines we draw, or maybe the lines some people just ignore altogether.